So why is the quietest person in the room secretly the most formidable? It's a fascinating idea, right? That true power doesn't always come from being the loudest, but from being the most silent observer. Today, we're going to dive deep into why that is.
All right, picture this. You're in a room full of voices. Could be a meeting, a party, whatever. Who do you think holds the real power? Is it the person talking the most? The one with the booming voice? Or is it someone else? You've always got the talkers, the debaters, the ones who just love to fill every single second of silence. But then there's that one person, the quiet one. And we're gonna ask a really important question. What if they're the one with the real advantage? Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we first have to bust a huge myth. Something we've all probably believed at some point in our lives. Let's call it the quiet person myth. From a young age, we're basically taught to connect loudness with confidence and silence with weakness. It's almost baked into us, isn't it? You see someone holding court, commanding the room, and you immediately think, wow, leader, so confident. But then you see the person who's just sitting back, not saying much, and our brains, they jump to a totally different, and honestly, usually a totally wrong conclusion.
And what are those conclusions? Well, our minds are wired to fill in the gaps, so we just assume, oh, they must be shy, or maybe they lack confidence, or they're just bored, disinterested. Worst of all, we might think they just have nothing to contribute. But here's the thing, these are just assumptions. They're stories we're making up. What if every single one of them is flat out wrong?
And that's where things get really interesting, because we need to flip this whole idea on its head. Let's look at silence not as a weakness, but as a hidden strategy.
So, let's ask this. What if that silence isn't weakness at all? What if it's actually a data collection strategy? Whoa, that changes everything, doesn't it? Suddenly you're not seeing an absence of words. You're seeing the presence of intense, careful observation. That quiet person, they're not just zoning out. They are actively, strategically gathering information.
Let's break this down. The common view sees shyness, but the reality, it's a strategy. What we see as being passive is actually an incredibly active process. What we might mistake for being anxious is really them just being incredibly observant. And here's the big one. What we assume is weakness is actually a massive source of power.
So how does this work? What's the secret sauce here? Well, it all comes down to a really powerful concept. It's called data asymmetry. Basically, it's about having the information edge.
Data asymmetry. It just means there's an imbalance of information. One person in the conversation has way more information than the other. Think about it like a poker game, right? The player who has a good read on everyone else's hand while their own face is a complete mystery, that's the person who's going to win the pot. It's the exact same principle in negotiation, or any interaction really. The person who listens more than they talk, they're the one collecting all the intel, and they're the one who comes out on top.
And creating this advantage is actually pretty simple. It happens in 3 steps. Step 1, the speaker just broadcasts everything. They're an open book. They tell you their plans, their insecurities, all their data points. Step 2, the observer, the quiet one, just collects it all. They listen, they learn, they absorb, but they don't reveal a thing. And that leads to step 3, a massive information gap forms. The quiet observer now knows way more about the speaker than the speaker knows about them. It's like having a map of someone else's territory while yours is completely uncharted.
So what does this information gap actually give you? Well, it gives you something incredibly powerful. It's the power of being opaque. What does it mean to be opaque? It means people can't see through you. Your real thoughts, your plans, what you're really thinking. It's all a mystery. You basically become a black box. And let me tell you, that makes you a very, very formidable person to deal with. I mean, just look at the difference here. The talker, they're transparent. You can see right through them. That makes them predictable, and if you're predictable, you're vulnerable. But the observer, they stay opaque. They are completely unpredictable. And that, right there, is what makes them so powerful. Because really, how can you counter a move you never see coming? So let's just lay out the advantages of being opaque. First off, you're incredibly difficult to read. That means your next move is almost impossible to predict. And because of that, it's incredibly hard for anyone to manipulate you. It all boils down to this. You hold the strategic advantage. You're holding all the cards, plain and simple. Okay, so let's tie this all together. How do we turn this idea into something you can actually use? What's the big takeaway from all this? Here it is, we have to stop thinking of silence as just nothing, an absence of communication, because it's not. Silence is one of the most powerful forms of communication there is. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's a deliberate, strategic tool that can give you a massive edge in pretty much any situation you find yourself in. So I want to leave you with one final thought, a question to kind of chew on. The next time you're in one of those rooms full of voices, what if you try it? What if you choose to listen instead of speak? What will you start to hear when you're not busy talking? What advantages will you start to see? Just try it.